This DYM podcast is brought to you by LeaderTrex. Go to serve, return, ready to lead. On a LeaderTrex mission trip, you'll serve and get out of your comfort zone. And through the program, your students will learn how to lead. They'll bring back that leadership and confidence to your youth ministry, and it will make a difference the rest of the year. Learn more and sign up at leadertrex.org. And since we love DYM, listeners get 10% off resources by using the code DYM10 at leadertrex.org.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Download Youth Ministry Podcast. Doug Fields here with Mr. Supertone, Jason, the senior pastor,
Hello,
Carson,
Doug.
the queen of all youth ministry, Katie Edwards, junior high pastor extraordinaire, and Josh Griffin.
Great to be with you.
Co-founder of Download Youth Ministry, big shot, cover of Youth Worker Journal.
Yeah, like
debonair
a year ago.
speaker.
Wearing glasses, looking good.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm
wearing
looking
glasses.
debonair.
I just
Is it
couldn't-
dusty outside?
I couldn't put my contacts on today. My eyes were like, nope, don't do that.
Really?
So,
You-
yeah.
You
think
every
you look
once in a while
nice.
wear
Thank
glasses late at night at Del Taco when we meet.
That's true.
But
Yeah.
that's about it.
And on
It's-
mission trips.
Missions
You
trips,
only
they
wear-
always come out. Del Taco, they come out. But I don't wear my glasses a lot. I like contacts.
No, I can see why.
Okay. First it's the hat. It's the hat. Now it's the glasses.
No, you wear
When have I
glasses-
ever made fun of your hair?
You wear glasses way better than a hat. Anyway, you guys, we have
Doug,
so much to talk
We're
about.
in a new location, first of all.
Well, let's start
It's
there
exciting stuff. Okay.
because I wish we could. Maybe we'll do some still shots on the blog
Oh, that's a good idea.
about where we are. But we are in the beginning stages of our new studio.
It's exciting.
It was really exciting,
Yeah.
and well, based on their shot, they can't tell
Not
at all.
real exciting.
But if you saw the drywall right there and the drywall right there,
We're gonna put a
and
TV right there.
we're gonna have a TV behind us so that
Whoa.
our sponsor ads can go through.
That's
if we want to
exciting.
Skype somebody
Speaking
in.
of sponsors, Doug.
And then over there, we're gonna have a backdrop
Studio.
for our video training.
Oh, yeah,
So
monthly
cool.
video training
doing
for
for
members.
Awesome.
Download
Yeah.
Youth Ministry members.
Skyping people
waterfall
into the
every-
podcast.
Yeah.
What do you think?
That sounds magical.
Well,
A foot washing
I-
station right over here.
Yes.
We actually right there in the kitchen is gonna be the little tiny ice,
Yes.
Like
Pebble
Chick-fil-A?
ice. Pebble ice, bro.
pebble ice.
Crushed ice.
Yeah.
I love
Sonic
it.
ice.
It's gonna be so great.
AM PM ice.
So
So
AM,
great.
PM
Anyway,
ice.
you guys, we have
Cafe
a
Rio.
primary sponsor called Orange. We
Hi,
love
Orange.
Orange very
Thank you,
much.
Orange.
Katie just got off the road from
Yes,
Orange,
that orange tour.
Where
so
you were in
amazing.
DC?
I was in Virginia.
Virginia.
Richmond, Virginia.
Where was I, Katie?
You were in Boston?
Nope.
No. You
Pennsylvania.
were
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
Lancaster.
you were there too, Josh.
I was.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
was. It was
we
great.
met up with some guys from the DYM 100.
So fun.
I did Seattle a couple weeks ago. I'm heading off to Kansas City.
Oh, wow.
We're part of the Orange Tour.
Jet setter.
We're
Love Orange.
always telling people about the XP3 middle school and
Yes.
high school curriculum.
So much
if
good
you're
stuff.
looking for a comprehensive, awesome curriculum for your youth ministry, go to.
DougLovesOrange.com.
Orange.
That's right.
Is Doug, I think that's still a thing, right? I haven't looked in a while.
I haven't been there in a long time.
Producer Elliot is on his phone.
Hey, so let's do this. Let's have a cameo by Allison. Allison,
Yeah.
if Elliot's the producer, what are you?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. High fives.
What are you?
I don't know. The president?
Are you
Choose to be? What?
Just write. Just go. We're gonna go ahead and write the sponsors
On
Wait,
the wall.
on the wall.
This
Yeah.
is awesome.
Yeah.
With a Sharpie.
That's the way
Oh,
to do
wow.
it. And I love that it's in orange.
I did
Yeah.
that on purpose.
She planned it.
Yeah.
Allison's intention.
He
Oh,
can't
you
see
can't
it.
see it?
Let's use
Black
black.
one here. Try this.
There's Elliot popping off back there.
Yeah.
No,
Elliot just won't
seriously, you're
shut
so
up.
cautious.
Allison, we're going to need you to do this.
Actually,
this way.
somebody wrote in and talked about Elliot. They said this guy who wrote in, his name is Elliot. He said, ever since Elliot started producing the show, he goes, I'm getting so confused because you guys mentioned him. I think you're talking to me.
Yeah, we are.
that's funny.
We are. We're
I
talking
Yeah.
about
I'm sorry, but it's still behind Doug's head.
All
Oh,
right.
it's got to go higher?
You got to go higher, Allison.
higher.
So, hey, Allison, while you're back there, why don't you also
Good
write
job.
down leader treks, write them in
yes.
smaller
How's it look,
letters
Elliot?
because They don't pay as much to be a sponsor, right?
Secondary
Josh?
sponsor, yeah.
Yeah, but
signature is
LeaderTrex,
this?
Rather than
go
smaller, not too small.
Office gang, I think.
go to serve, return ready to lead. On a LeaderTrex mission trip, you'll serve and get out of your comfort zone. But a huge added benefit is that through the program, your students will learn how to lead. They will bring that leadership and confidence back to your youth ministry and will make them a difference. It will make a difference for the rest of the year. Learn more at leadertrex.org.
That's
LeaderTrex.
LeaderTrex.org.
You know what? This is also a big day because
Why?
this is our first show, 301,
Yes.
301.
with Azusa Pacific University gone.
Oh, we have an open
Yeah.
secondary sponsor. Should
Yeah.
we make one
Should I
up?
write him up here and cross him out?
Ooh, I like it like a no, like a
I
no
should.
sign on it. Like
I
that.
mean, have you guys talked to Del Taco? They might want to
Okay.
produce this show.
That's amazing.
Well,
Listen to this.
okay,
They might
let's-
not
come
sponsor
on
the
now.
show, but they did give Doug a Del Taco tumbler. Do you have it with you?
I have it in my car.
It's a
I'll
Del
bring it up for the
Taco
next show.
Oh, like a
stainless steel
permanent
tumbler.
cup?
Well, after we did DYM 100, we
Yeah.
took all 100 youth workers there to say,
Obviously.
here's where it started, the whole bit. They were so excited. They had 3 people from corporate there, the whole bit.
It was incredible. Yeah.
And
That's
the
adorable.
next day when I was in there, I'm doing my thing in my office booth, and the guy comes to me and says, "Thank you so much. Can you have Allison's email address?" And did he ever write you, Allison?
No.
Oh.
But I look forward to it.
Yeah, but then he handed me a Del Taco tumbler, like a coffee thing, which I haven't had a cup of coffee in my life, but
Right. But you
a
fill
little
it with
tumbler
Diet
and it
Coke.
has Del Taco on it, and he gave it to me like I was winning the Nobel Peace
Like it was
Prize.
the Queen.
Yeah. Like he was.
It's that level.
He
It's
was
that level.
so
Pretty good.
excited. He
It's
really
a big
was.
honor, man.
He was so excited.
Oh, man.
Dude, I can't believe you got a Del Taco tumbler.
Oh yeah, big deal.
So
hey,
cool.
so Youth Ministry 360, they are another sponsor. Give away a huge prize during Podcast 300. They did, and Josh, you're speaking to Generate in Colorado for them.
Yeah, actually, Les from YM360 emailed today and said, "Hey, we're featuring you in our newsletter," and they are killing the camp game. Generate camps from YM360. Check it out all over the country. Actually, not in California yet, but they're working on that. As far west as Colorado. Big fans of YM360. They're running a sale right now on some of their.
You'd think
good
if they were
resources, too.
sharp, they'd
Yeah.
do a camp in California and have it sponsored by DYM.
I agree.
Hello.
Or Azusa Pacific.
Yeah, Azusa would do
RIP.
that too. But
You were
so,
in the newsletter?
so here's the deal.
Did you
We're
get a
open.
tumbler?
Oh, no tumbler. YM360. I could use a tumbler.
We're actually we're open for a fourth sponsor. So-
Okay. So
That's encounterchurchmv.com.
yes. Oh my goodness. Hold on.
I didn't
Oh,
do
look
that.
out.
Producer Elliot.
You know.
Katie's microphone.
Elliot, you're going to be on camera now. Well, at least your butt is.
Yes,
Gonna
there
pull a
he
Nat-
is,
he's gonna
ladies.
pull a Natalie right here.
All right, so here's the
Hold on
deal.
your shirt.
People who are
Tell
listening,
Elliot at
people who are listening to
555.
this for the first time are going to go, I am never listening to that.
Yeah, 12 minutes
again."
later, they're like, "Forget it, I'm
so,
out."
here's the deal. Let's talk a little bit about DYM 100, this show.
Yes. So
Because in this show, we'll talk about it. I'll read the questions from DYM 100. And then next show on 302, Katie, you're going to be on a lot because we're going to talk about volunteers. We're talking about small group leaders. We're going to read the answers that people send in about how many
Nice.
days off they get during the year. But in
yep.
this show, we haven't even debriefed DYM 100.
No.
it was incredible. Can I start? May I?
Please.
I loved it. It was so fun.
I love that you attended it.
It was so cool. I was honored to be there. The bottom line is, I mean, since 1990-ish, I've been involved in youth ministry. And I've been to tons of conferences and camps and sessions and workshops and whatever. I've never seen something this fun and seen the attendees have this great of a time. I mean, it
That's
was
so
like
cool.
it was world class.
It
like
was so
you guys
amazing.
pulled out all the stops. Unbelievable. If anyone went, their life is better. It really is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Can we get a quote of that?
That-
somewhere?
I know.
That's incredible.
That should be a sticker. That should
I'm
be a
telling you,
sticker.
it was fantastic. It was
if you
phenomenal.
went to DYM 100, your life
Your
is
life is
better.
better.
Yeah.
I actually would agree with that.
No, it was
People-
the
I mean-
funnest few days that I've ever had doing
Yeah.
youth ministry.
Yeah.
Talking
So fun.
shop, laughing, playing. It was great.
And there was some deep conversations all over. You keep on seeing it was
Well,
Really
and-
challenging stuff. too.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really challenged my thinking on a lot of things. It was really fun.
I
Really
like the
cool.
fact that we went after a few topics that everyone knows are really important youth ministry, but just they aren't having them.
Yeah.
And I really appreciated, in particular, there was a session on pace that I thought was really healthy and wise from Alan Fadling.
Who wrote the book Unhurried
Life.
The Unhurried Life, and
Yeah.
also
Yeah.
new one called Unhurried Leader.
Yeah,
It's not out
and
yet,
Mike Erie did a session on homosexuality and the church's response to that just felt alive and refreshing and wise and in process and still figuring it out. And I just love that. Those are two very and there were many more really great sessions.
Yeah, we
those
had like
two were
12 content sessions, which probably, I don't know if we're ever going to do it again because we lost a lot of money on it.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
But
Yeah.
it was great.
it was.
It was so fun.
we bought too many T-shirts and
that's
gave
kinda
away
how
too
we
many
run-
books.
That's how we run the DYM. We kind
It
of
was
run it
fun.
into the ground.
I had 5.
You always have to do everything twice. Don't you feel like it?
I don't know. We got
Yeah.
Allison did all the hard
2
work. We got to
times,
talk to her
at
about it.
least.
Just got to charge a little more.
That's
I'm telling you.
probably
Yeah,
true.
the whole week Fields is like, you only paid $2.99 for this, and I'm like, Fields, it was $1.99. They didn't even pay.
Ah, no wonder.
Yeah, no wonder we lost our
Which
shirt.
included all the food. I had 5 youth workers stay at my house.
Dude, the
Yeah.
people that were staying in host homes even had the most wonderful experiences.
Yeah.
I mean, swimming in your pool with 100 youth workers, eating KFC. It was a great week.
It was great.
It was.
Don't put that on a sticker.
No, put it on a sticker. KFC will change your life.
It'll make it better.
Yeah, the
It'll make
food
it better.
kind of ended on a low.
KFC?
Yeah,
I disagree.
yeah.
I did.
Well, part of it was a theme. We have a Kentucky office,
Oh.
DYM Kentucky.
Yeah.
And so it was a little bit of a theme for that meal. I'm not supposed to give all, in case we do it again, Josh.
Oh, yeah, we shouldn't spoil it all.
Oh,
shouldn't give all the stuff away,
Yeah.
but it was great.
Multiple
It was
shirts,
cool. Felt like
giveaways.
So
Family.
here's a picture that you guys can see. Maybe we can put this on the site as well, Josh, the blog. It says DYM members wanted to play the old game, quote, take stuff from Doug's house. Now, this was before Katie's time and your time.
Way
I
before.
remember it. I remember it.
From the show?
Yep.
When Josh
This is early.
Josh and Matt and I would steal stuff from each other's house when we were over there.
Yeah, you try to secretly steal something that you don't think will be noticed, and
Yeah.
maybe it would appear later, or
It was like a lot of our bits. It didn't work very well.
we did it for a long time, though.
So these
it's
guys,
cute.
there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 youth workers. They have a picture in front of my house. We wanted to throw the frozen cheese in the shrub, but we decided to put it back. Unfortunately, there was an accident and it dropped and busted open. So now Kathy, which is my wife, now owns a bag of open cheese in the freezer. Sorry, Kathy. We blame McGill.
Always works.
Oh, it was so
Always
great being
works.
with Miguel again too. That was so fun.
Oh, we
Well,
had
if you are
Natalie,
listening to
McGill.
301,
Yeah, the podcast.
podcast 301, you need to go listen to
Oh, listen to 300.
the live show.
Yep.
We didn't really answer any questions, but
Zero.
we had everybody from the beginning. We had
was awesome.
Natalie, who was our graphic designer back then,
Yep.
who had really, she told me she had no idea. She thought we were all just getting together.
Gonna have dinner or something.
Like she just thought we were kind of doing a reunion
I
type
love
deal.
it.
Now, Allison, was that because we didn't give her the details or because she's a little bit dumb? We didn't give her the details. Okay, Allison's fault. That's
Allison's
great.
owning that. All right, all right.
And so she showed up, and McGill was there. McGill was in rare form.
He
Oh my
was. That was
gosh.
his
Very
show.
fun.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was fun.
We had a highlight video that Elliot put together.
loved that.
Is that available on the site, Elliot?
We
Yeah.
should make that available on the site.
Yeah.
Send it my way.
Yeah.
That's
that
great,
was
yeah.
It's a
It's
great
so
idea.
great
That
that you
was
just
fun.
say sure like that. How wonderful.
He's totally that guy.
Oh, it's in episode 300?
Oh, great. Great. Thank
Okay.
you.
Well, maybe when we launch the new blog, we can promote
so.
the podcast
Yeah.
that way.
I don't think
loved it.
we haven't talked about the new blog yet. You can't say anything yet.
We got a lot. Look at we're in a new studio.
Yeah.
Look at
Stuff's
this.
happening.
This is what's
Stuff's
new.
happening.
Stuff is
Sponsors written in Sharpie on the wall.
Stuff.
All right,
Is
so this is a
happening.
little bit of the. We're not going to relive the DYM stuff, the DYM 100, but it was awesome.
Yeah.
You
Had
and
to be
I
there.
jumped on the road afterwards.
We did.
Allison went on a little vacation weekend, so this week's staff meeting, we weren't together to even talk
Yeah.
about it, so we haven't debriefed it yet, but we had a great time. The
But-
people who came were just
Changed
perfect.
lives. Changed
That's
lives.
And thank you all for being a part of it.
Yeah.
Please don't read my name. This is from Ronald Long. Just kidding. My question is this. After attending the DYM 100, how am I supposed to go to any other youth pastor conference again and not be utterly disappointed from their lack of gold medal, METAL. It's called Medal, Ron. Gold
A
medal
lot is
Olympians.
2 words.
UFC fighters, mystery bus trips, ridiculous number of free books, great content speakers, youth minister hang time, the sparkler carrying belly flops into Doug's swimming pool.
Come on.
Seriously, guys, thanks for a great conference. It was awesome to hang with my heroes in student ministries and get to see the heart for students and youth pastors. See you soon, but probably not at the DYM 100 because Fadi won't let you do this again.
That's true.
That's true.
Thanks for stopping by.
We did lose money. This is from Josh Riffle. Doug, Josh, Jason, and Katie, I want to take a minute and thank you for hiring Allison. He then says, I hope that made you guys laugh. She did an amazing job at putting together the DYM 100, and I am thankful for all that she did. Thank you, Doug, Josh, Katie, and Jason, for being the brains behind DYM 100. 2 years ago, I was diagnosed with a disease that my family and I never saw coming, and needless to say, it's been a rough 2 years personally and professionally. My health is back to normal. While attending the DYM 100 gave me a chance to step back and laugh at Chip's small group stories. Chip is our customer service guy, also a volunteer youth worker for many years.
His stories are unreal.
I'm not even sure they're true.
Never let the
Eat
truth
some
get in the way of a
good
good story.
food with some friends, make new friends, sit in Fadi's awesome car, learn from world-class speakers and leaders, and most importantly, rest and reconnect with Christ. I hope you guys organize the DYM 100 again. If you do, please let me know so I can come back as a participant. If I cannot come back as a participant, I would love to help serve.
Oh, that's rad.
Yeah. Well, if we do one
That's so
again,
cool.
these 100 can't come back.
No.
But they could come serve for free.
Yeah, I like the idea of him coming back and serving like a.
Yeah, like
That's
a
First
host.
10 people to email in get to come for free. DYM100.com.
No, they still have to pay. Remember, we lost thousands of dollars.
No,
they
they're-
have to pay.
Yeah, they could be like
$500.
the work crew.
Yeah, the work crew.
Allison could have a work crew.
Take a work crew.
Yeah,
Send your emails in, folks.
You know,
work crew.
I like it. We have new event
Do
interns
it.
that we're hiring. That
Well, here's
pay
the deal.
us.
What people may
Yes.
not know is the DYM 100 people, these all applied to come.
Yeah, you had to apply and be selected to join. Yeah.
This is
it's
from
crazy.
Travis Welch. I want to thank you so much for the opportunity and time. It was incredible. A few of the guys and I hung out on Saturday, really decompressed together in everything we had experienced. My takeaway was I got to see all of you, heroes of what we do, genuinely live out your love for Jesus, how you treat us, but even more how you treated your team. God is preparing me to plant a church, which means, like Jason, I will become a lead pastor. I want to try to treat my team with such authentic love and care as you do. Thank you for living that out and doing it in front of us. Side note, it was totally awesome meeting Chip. I really like that guy.
This is fantastic.
I remember Travis. Yeah, good guy.
Here's a question from Mark Phillips.
Great
Mark,
guy, poor judge of character.
I really love my team at DYM 100. I'm still sad my phone died and I couldn't get a movie trailer voicemail. Oh, I love telling people all about it.
What a
We're
missed.
giving away everything for the guy that says we shouldn't give it all away.
Yeah.
We don't even know if we're going to do it again, but just so you know,
I think
were you there at the night?
that was
good.
That
great.
was so awesome.
The number
In a
one.
world.
Yeah.
Dude, so cool.
that.
I
Josh,
tried to use-
back.
You
I-
geeked out when you
I
met
geeked
him.
out so
Jason
hard.
Carson
The number
is.
1 and number 2 voiceover people in the world were there at the DYM 100 hanging out. And just to hear them, and they're like, no big deal. Like, oh, you know, we used to drive to LA and now we set up a little studio in our house. And one time I recorded something in the Mediterranean for a Shark Tank. And I'm like,
know.
I love you. It was so cool.
What I was trying to tell somebody about, and I couldn't remember. He said he's done 30,000.
yeah.
Did he
Yeah,
say
something like
30,000 or
that.
10,000?
No,
Oh, I think it was
like
30.
30,000.
30,000
Commercials and
movies.
Crazy.
People don't return phone calls. One man will call you back. Jason Carson is the man who will call you back. Rated R for Return Your Call.
Is that incredible?
Unbelievable.
Is that incredible?
Way to pull that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that was
Can we
clutch.
give Jason some
Jason
executive
was
producer
first in
privileges?
line.
Just regular producer.
Okay.
Elliot is a
Well,
little.
exactly.
So anyway, here's what Mark
He's
says.
used to executive.
Our student ministry has grown quite a bit in the last year. We're running out of space in our meeting room. A little bit of context. We have a designated youth room. It was originally built as a theater, tiered rows, stage, no options for changing the physical layout. The room is on our activity center. 2-story gym with classrooms, weight room, etc. We have a couple options for our next step, but I wanted to hear from you on some things that I need to make sure we do in the process of change. Regardless of our choice, change will happen. I'd love some wisdom from you all in helping think through some of the details. Thanks for what you do.
Great. So they're
Redoing the
They're running out of their space in their meeting room, but they have a designated youth room that was built as a theater.
That's cool.
What are some overall principles about a room? Let's
Yeah.
go there.
Well, I think something designed in rows isn't relationally as strong. So you just need to know that you're going to have to work a little harder on relationships because when you're around a table or in circles or whatever, you're going to have some built-in dynamics for communication. It is stage focused, which is really nice. If you have something that's you want people to pay attention to, everyone's chairs are facing the right direction. I think that's good. You just know that you're going to have to work harder to connect with people. You know, your volunteers don't have a place to land because there's not a table, there's not a zone or whatever. And people getting in and out are going to be really disruptive in rows too, or maybe a table you can kind of sneak out. There's a little more room. So yeah, I think just know you got to work harder.
Yep.
Little something.
I think if you have a chance to speak into it, trying to do non-permanent seating. So if there's a way that it's chairs can be moved in and out, even if it's tiered, you can, I don't know. If there's a way that you can change up the space if you want to. Josh and I had really different rooms. He had permanent seating and I have more multi-use space where I can move things around a lot. And as much as I love your room because it's nicer and more state-of-the-art.
Yeah,
and
acoustics
awesomer.
are so solid because it's
so
only
amazing.
for meeting.
And
yeah.
I'm in a gym, but I do like the
yeah.
freedom to be able to change things around. If I want to do tables, if I don't, rows, floor, I just have some options. So I don't know if there's a way to just suggest space that has options.
Yeah, I like that.
I think lighting's important too.
Lighting is
just
important.
Yes.
Good lighting can be.
Yeah, I always want the front row as close to the speaker as possible. And I don't know if that's everybody, but for me, I hate that gap between where I'm standing with a music stand teaching people, and then I feel like the first row is so far away, and then by the time you get to the last row, you can barely see them because even 5 rows or 10, all of a sudden they're looking over people and it's clumsy. So I would say keep the people as close as possible to the stage. It feels intimate, closer, better attention. Yeah. Also look for spots where kids would hide and make out in your room and get rid of those spots.
Yeah.
Multi-use. The multi-uses of your space.
I would add too, you just prioritize, make sure you know what your ministry wants to do and make sure you make space for that. Sounds like he's running out of room. Sounds like he doesn't have much room to do with, it at all. And so you got to think that's a priority, the people and what you're trying to do and what you're trying to build. So
Yeah. Such an exciting thing that growth is happening.
Yeah,
So
I
what
like
a cool
it.
deal.
it's good.
Yeah, I'll throw out one more thing. Tables, chairs, rows, seating, permanent seating, it can all work. So if you're locked into, hey, we need the space, so we have to kind of be crowded and we got rid of tables and I love tables and now we don't have tables. God can use all of it. Like there might be preferences and styles and different benefits, but if you're trapped for space sake, what a great problem to have. And embrace that. Embrace that you're in rows or that it's crowded and God can use all of it.
Yeah, I think that was one of the things that we talked about at DYM 100 a little bit. You and I did when we did a Q&A portion is that, I did 30 years of youth ministry in a church without ever having a room or a building.
Exactly.
We would have a tent. We had a tent that was kind of ours, but it was also multi-use space.
Oh yeah, it was
portables,
used for tons of other things. Yes.
So you can do youth ministry without space, rented space, homes, the whole bit. I think that's one of the things that people, because there are people listening that are going, man, I'd give anything for it. Who cares if we can't move the chairs?
Right.
You're right.
Any space.
Yeah, but to our friend who needs a little bit of help, and even Josh, the idea of that first row being further back, you can change that by putting couches. Put couches in front of the rows in the stage.
Yeah.
And that kind of becomes prime seating, even on sitting people on stage.
Right.
Creating kind of some VIP seating or something
Well,
like
even
that.
if they could win it during the game, so you're using DYM Games or Games app or something, and then they win the best seats and there's snacks there. That's fun. I love
Yeah,
it.
that's great.
For
Yeah.
high school, I think that's a great idea.
You don't want junior hires on
For
stage?
middle school, it would be tricky.
Yeah.
It would be tricky during the message.
But middle schoolers, you can literally pile them on top of each other
Totally.
and they're fine.
And that's something to look at.
Yeah.
So,
But it's interesting. Even as you talked, Katie, about your room being different, junior high room being different from high school room.
Yeah.
I mean, that was also part of strategy
Yeah,
too,
really
in
intentional.
designing the building so that it has a little bit of a different look and feel.
Yeah.
You know.
And I do think our age groups need some different space. Like I think my
Totally.
age group really does thrive in that kind of more multi-use space, and I think high
Yeah.
schoolers
Oh,
really
absolutely.
attached to having a little bit more of a different vibe. So
I think a different vibe is healthy too in the handoff too, because you want to
Yeah.
go, hey, you're moving into high school now, so
Yeah.
things are a little different. We're not in a gym. We're gonna take things in a little different direction. I think that's healthy and good. Yeah, like a progression,
yeah.
if possible.
My youth group was a lot smaller, and we used to have all chairs set up. When we got too big for the room, we ditched the chairs completely, and the kids sat on the floor on youth group night.
Yeah.
And it also, but it opened. Worship was like one of our high values in that room as well.
sure.
And so
You mean singing?
He
I
meant
meant worship.
singing
singing.
along
Oh,
to Supertones music.
Okay. Worship singing.
Fields always has to clarify.
Scripture
No,
reading.
I just like to
Prayer.
worship when I
Communion.
listen to God's word being taught.
I do too.
I like to worship when I interact with other people. I like to worship through prayer.
But you don't
There's-
worship through singing.
No, I like to worship through singing. I just don't think that's the only way to
Anyway.
worship.
He doesn't
All right.
worship through clapping though. It's not pretty.
That's true.
Rhythm.
So yeah, we but it really opened things up. I think for the kids experientially when we took out the chairs too. So it was good.
Yeah. I think one thing I'd say about a room is that if you're the leader of the room, you own that room. Even if it's just for an hour, you own that room. So
Yeah.
meaning that if the chairs are not set up the way that you want them, if they are too back from stage, if whatever, like I'll go in anytime I speak, and I did it at Orange. I was just at Harrisburg or wherever I was, and I told the guy, I am so sorry, but this is how I like the room
Yeah.
being set up, and we pulled some chairs, we stacked some chairs out of the back because I always want people to feel it's better dynamic if it feels crowded. So
I agree.
you know, if you have a lot of room in the back, you know, move your couches in up tight, everybody in front of the couches or whatever. The smaller the room, the more crowded the space,
Yes.
the more fun the dynamic of the room is. Anyway, good question. This is another DYM 100 guy, Kyle Curry.
Oh, Kyle, yeah.
First off, thank you for putting together the DYM 100. I had a rad opportunity to be at the DYM 100.
Yes, you
it was
did.
truly,
you some rad.
ministry changing for me. So it's kind of like what you said.
I
Jason?
like Kyle. He's a good dude.
He's great. But what I feel you guys really dropped the ball on was
Uh-oh.
the fact that Jason Curl didn't get a real girlfriend, or Justin Curl didn't get a real girlfriend out of his 3 dates. I roomed with him in a host home, and he's a
fault is
rad
that?
guy. And let me tell you, he looks so sweet and peaceful sleeping. Wait, never mind. So here's what we did. Justin Curl wrote in several episodes ago, and he talked about being single and how difficult it is to be single in church and how do I meet other singles.
296 or something like that.
I don't
How old
know.
is he? Do you know?
Just
Mid
20, 25?
can you?
mid 20s,
Right,
and we said, well, hey, Justin, if you come out to the DYM 100, we will set you up.
Yes.
I don't
Those
even know
were-
if we told him that or not, or if we just
No,
surprised
it
him.
We surprised.
Okay,
But those were real dates. Caroline.
born in 91.
Yeah, so he's 25.
Okay.
It's a great age.
So what
those
we
were real
did is we
dates.
set him up with 3 lovely
Yes.
women, and we gave him dates
Yeah,
there.
In and out truck, coffee date. I think a walking around the lake date with Mandy that probably didn't happen. But that's not our fault.
No.
We set him up. We brought him on stage.
We gave him plenty of
He
opportunity.
should be engaged right now. To work.
Yeah.
But
Caroline
it didn't
texted
happen.
us and said, I'm just enjoying the last few minutes of being single before her date. Apparently, Justin dropped the ball.
She also tried
Yeah.
on Kathy's wedding ring afterwards and was wandering around
See?
pretending she had an engagement ring on.
Oh, I did not know that.
That's a great bit.
fantastic.
Could you pick up
That's a great
that, Elliot? Could you hear Allison? Yeah, it's hard kind of not to hear. But yes, they went out on.
I love you, Allison. I'm so
couldn't
proud of
either.
you.
I
I'm so
couldn't
proud
Allison
of you.
has the greatest laugh in
She
the
does.
office
So proud
because
of
it
you.
She does.
just every time she laughs, I can not only do I hear her laugh, but I watch my windows and they're like, you know,
It's infectious.
Hey, you know who Justin Curl didn't go on a date with? Allison Hibbard. That feels like a missed opportunity.
Well, Allison was running the show. We really didn't care about Justin that much to give him the
She
opportunity
was,
to date
she's
Allison.
a big deal.
Oh, yeah. She doesn't date commoners.
No.
Yeah.
You
No.
can't just set her up with.
She doesn't date hill people.
She's a
that
big
are
deal.
25.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll tell you the truth. She's on a couple dating apps and
Bumble.
She dates commoners. So this is from Matt Adams. Matt was also at DYM 100.
Fantastic.
He says, I asked this question to the married panel at DYM 100. So we had a marriage panel of
Marriage.
3 different couples there on stage.
Princess
and
Bride, we got you.
Josh was emceeing that, and he says, I saw my letter handed to Josh. He read it and he threw it on the ground.
I did. I did.
But look what it.
In
he
my
threw it
vi-
on the groan.
Threw it on the ground. There were so many great questions. We had a
Kinda
limited
hurt
amount
my
of time.
Yeah. Then he says, kind of hurt my feelings.
I'm sorry. I'm not
So-
laughing at that.
I was going through them fast.
All right, we don't have much time, but here's the question. Being on staff at church, there are always issues that are happening that stress me out or worry me. How do you decide what to share with your spouse out of openness with them and what to keep to yourself in order to protect them from having to carry the worry and stress as well?
That's a great question,
Yeah.
Josh.
Yeah,
I
It is
wish
a
we
great
had
question.
time for it.
Crumpled that.
there was a lot of good.
There were so many good questions.
Yeah, there were.
Yeah.
So what do you say?
I'll go first. My wife and I we're total partners, and so I do protect her from a few things, but not much. I'm not sure I have a criteria that I could outline, like 3 bullet points to not share this with your spouse, but we talk through everything. She's a great. She knows that I appreciate verbal processing, and she's at home with 4 kids and really wants to kind of be in an adult conversation as well. So it's beneficial for both of us, and I share a lot. Maybe too much.
And maybe on the downside of that,
Yeah.
then she gets so emotionally involved, and so when you've been hurt by a
Yes.
boss or something
Well,
like
without
that,
a doubt.
then she's ticked.
And all she has is one perspective. She's not going to go to them. That's
Yeah.
my job. So all she has, and so I'm sitting there in church going, oh man, this person, da 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 da. She could be feeling that same way because I have led her there. So I want to be careful, but I don't have a ton of boundaries. We have a lot of
In a lot of your life.
Yeah, exactly. We have a lot of conversations
being real.
about the stuff that's going on at church, good, bad, and ugly. Yeah.
So that's what's dangerous, right? I mean, if you become someone that comes home and complains to your wife all the time about
Or husband.
your boss, or husband, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you come and complain to them,
have a
well,
husband.
then they have trouble sitting in church. They don't even want to listen to this pastor
Totally.
because they have no respect for him. So I think you really got to.
Or her.
Yeah. Well, I'm just talking about myself personally.
Wow. It's just one
God.
male. One
Katie,
male.
I know you don't believe these.
I'm
guys.
okay.
One male
I understand.
pronoun after
Katie's
another.
strong enough in her own personality to not listen to your
Yes,
guys'
he's
jobs.
very strong.
Anyway. Wow. Yeah.
I think that's the only time I'm protective with Ron is when I think it'll have a relational impact for him.
Yeah.
So
Good.
he has, people that have been my boss or that I work with that are his friends who he loves. I'm just really careful about not impacting those friendships. And so there's times where I'm frustrated with my boss or whatever. And so
Absolutely.
and there's times that I resolve things quicker than I tell him, I'll resolve something in a 24-hour period and he'll hang on to something because he's protective of me. And so I've just learned that when I know there are friends, his friends in the mix, or people that he really loves, I might kind of vent something out or vet something with someone else that I trust. And then, hey, I had this tough moment with Josh today, but here's kind of how I came out of that, and almost in a resolved way. So still
like that.
communicating with him and giving him the information. So I'm not keeping anything from him, but sometimes there are things out of protection of his friendships that I just want to be cautious of, and make sure that
love
those
it.
stay intact, because I can be mad at Kurt, but Ron doesn't need to be mad at Kurt because we just had a frustrating moment over the budget. Like that's that. I don't want that to impact Ron and Kurt's relationship.
Sure.
Does that make
Smart.
sense? So
Smart.
yeah.
Personally, something that I've had to guard my own heart from that I do often is if I start to get the pattern of always complaining and being cynical and being someone that just kind of grumbles at home and say oh, Julie's a safe place, so I can just always go to her and take it out.
Dump, yeah.
I mean, that's bad. And so I guess that's a challenge to, all the listeners out of my own personal failure is guard your heart from that, because it really is a hard issue. How much do you come home and complain? versus, working through some of that stuff.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting though, if you don't process things with your spouse, at some point you're going to be like, okay, it's time for us to leave this church. And he or she is going to be like,
Right.
wait, what do you mean? I had no idea. If you haven't involved them in the dialogue and process of this journey, it could feel very one way too. So I'm totally in agreement with what you're saying, but I also think don't be afraid to talk some stuff out. My wife
Sure.
can sniff my spin. She can identify my arrogance in a heartbeat. And so, yeah, hurt people. I think sometimes it's good for me to get a little bit of a pushback from her, and which she
Sure.
does with great regularity. Like, Josh, it sounds like you're a real jerk today, and I'm defending myself. She's quick to call that out. That's good too.
Yeah.
I think there's an element of having some outside people outside of your church that you can talk to. There are some things, over so many years in ministry with affairs and emotional affairs and different things where I'm not sure. Like, I went to Jim Burns, who was my youth pastor, who didn't go to our church. It wasn't divisive. It was, so I just needed somebody safe to talk to a little bit.
Sure.
Like, how much do I involve Kathy in this? Because if I involve Kathy in this, she's going to be wounded, and not want to sit in church. And then there were also times where I didn't take things to her, and that backfired as well, because then she'd be having a conversation with somebody, and that person would go, "Did you know that me and your husband, or what'd you think about me and Doug getting in that big fight?" And she's like, "I don't know. Didn't know anything about it." And she's like, "Why didn't you tell me about that fight you had with Megan Hutchinson?" I'm like, because that's like weekly.
Yeah, every day with Megan. She's
So there were times when it backfired. So I go back to like your original statement. We unpacked it in a bunch of different ways, Josh. But you said I have no clear. We don't. Here's the prescription on how you handle this. I think it depends on your marriage. I think it depends on the severity of what is shared. There's just some things that are better kept unsaid at times, and I think you question your heart whether you're always going home complaining, because that can feed into it. And in some ways, that can give your spouse an identity in terms of like, well, yeah, I want to get I'm a stay-at-home dad or I'm a stay-at-home mom, and this gives me something to get all mad about. I just think it's a great question. There's no easy answers.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to figure out the journey.
I'm sure glad we saved it for right now instead of doing it at the DY 100.
Ask your spouse maybe too. Like,
that's good.
What do they want to know? Where do you feel like you want me to pull you in, and where do you feel like I don't need to know that stuff? Like, help them.
Please don't involve me in
Let
certain
them
parts.
create some boundaries too, because Ron has done that too. Like, I don't need to know that. Or like some
great.
of that, which is good for me to hear. Like, okay, great. So
I can carry
let them
that.
be a part of that burden with you.
I like that a lot because everybody's wired differently.
What were
good word.
what were the lines that you said about Ron? He only needs two things.
He needs to know what's for dinner.
Yeah.
And something to look forward to. So, and he's a happy guy.
That's right.
That's most of my life as well. I like
a
Ron a
date
lot. He's a
night or
good
something
dude.
like every week I have something to look forward to, like with you.
You guys had fun after Orange Tour. I saw your Instagrams. It looked
We went
awesome.
to DC for
He's
the
such a good
weekend.
dude. I think
What's for dinner and something to look forward to.
Yeah.
I
those are
whispered
his
to Kathy and
things.
said I can think of a third one that but Katie doesn't want to say it.
Well,
I was thinking that was what you were looking
Maybe
forward
that's what
to.
we're looking forward to. Yeah.
yeah.
You got to put those dates on the calendar.
Yeah.
It's unspoken.
Every Thursday. Every other Thursday.
Totally watch TV
As I get
together,
older.
guess.
One Thursday a month.
Wow, Josh.
And as you get much older,
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't talk to your wife about all those things that you're doing.
That's called
Other things to do. All right, you guys, look. This is show 301. It's kind of the DYM 100 debrief show. In show 302, we're not even going to talk about DYM 100. We've got questions about small group leaders. We've got questions about volunteers.
so it's the Katie show.
There's a
great.
a guy who got fired from a church, but there's also a guy who
Okay, that's a little.
save it for the next show.
McGill's not here. We start taking
And
shots.
There's a letter from a person who works at a great church to kind of balance. It's
So
just
it's a Jason show.
we got
excited.
we got good stuff going on.
I'm excited.
Hopefully, between now and the few minutes when we record the next show, we
Yes.
won't lose another sponsor. But if you have
So
questions,
it's a Doug show.
send it into podcast@downloadyouthministry.com. Podcast@downloadyouthministry.com. And if you are a member, let us know that you're a DYM member. If you're a rewinder, if you've been to the DYM 100, let us know
let us
because
know.
Yes.
we all have favorites.
The ultimate insiders, if you've been to the DYM 100.
There you
Is
go.
that what they're called now?
Just ask
don't know.
Josh's kids.
They should have a name.
I don't even get that.
We all have favorites.
We all have favorites.
Oh. Yeah. but
This
I,
week?
I said that.
This week, Christian.
Didn't I?
He's my favorite.
You said we all have favorites. I said just ask Josh's kids.
Last week was so awesome. Although Alexis got her braces off today, she looks so cute.
She's so old, I
fun.
bet.
She
Are you
does
saying
look
she didn't when she had her braces?
Yeah, and
that's
no
hurtful.
one does. No one
Braces
does.
aren't cute.
Yeah, they're not
They're
cute.
cute.
Sorry,
No, they
well,
were with her. Her hair, that
She does have great.
big old moppy hair. I
got
love
like
that.
white curly hair.
Anyway, the show's brought to you by Orange.
Not Azusa Pacific.
No longer. What if that became our bit? We just
Or sponsored by not Azusa Pacific.
and
we
they,
should
they're
pick a
going
different
like,
college.
hey, I could have done this a long time ago. Couldn't have paid you guys at all, and you still mentioned our.
Go to Liberty University. That's
All right. See you next show.
Bye.
Thanks, Elliot.